Hey guys, what is going on? Throughout the major we saw some interesting ideas, strategies, and executes all come out of Fnatic. One of them revolved around getting the top banana control, and there's a smoke that we haven't seen before, which JW will throw here in a second. Another thing they changed up, one I hadn't really noticed before, is how they retake the banana control once CT does get it. It's very aggressive and fast, but I'll get into that one a little bit later. There's a smoke grenade there if you want to learn how to do it. Pretty standard kind of jump through, easily tuck yourself in the corner. What exactly does this smoke grenade achieve? Well, to start off with, it's important to note that it's thrown with the very standard Molotov that denies any early aggression from the CT side, so that Fnatic can get into positions behind the logs or into the cutout at the left. Then the smoke on top of this makes it very difficult for SK to line up the standard kind of Molotovs again at the logs or the cutout, so Fnatic can be relatively safe in these positions, and again because they can't be confident lining up these Molotovs, SK aren't going to go for this control, and as you saw then, they just back off, and Flash is actually able to take this all by himself. To understand what exactly this smoke does even further, let's look at around where SK, Fallen, and Fer take the deep banana control and actually attempt it, because whenever they saw this smoke in this game, they just gave up. They wanted to hold their utility, they played the game from the side area, just try and play the time game really with just holding on to their smoke grenades. So very standard smoke, down banana, the deep banana smoke, and then two Molotovs, one close for anyone behind the wall, and then Fallen's also thrown his deeper into the banana. So it's going to look something like this. There's going to be a Molotov here from Fer, then obviously the one from the T side is also at the top. And as we play this through, you'll see Golden is forced to just jump away because of these mollies, and then they line up the double snack towards the, what do you call that, the logs position. There you go, it came back to me. So you can see they've covered off everything, Molotov, nade stack here, and the T's are forced all the way out. So usually what would happen now is Fer would then come and try and take the banana control, peek onto it. You can see here a second Molotov has been thrown by Fnatic, but we'll ignore this for now. But look at the positioning from Fallen and Fer. If this smoke is down here, you're not going to have the confidence to peek back through because you're not exactly 100% sure what's going to greet you. There is a little bit of a spot here that isn't Molotov in their particular strategy, so if you peek out here and there's a player holding, you're coming through a smoke, might have to use an extra flash, it just makes it very uncomfortable for SK. I think you can counter this, you can come up with nade lineups to be confident in what you're doing, but I think because this is the first time we've seen it, it worked very well for Fnatic because it just caught SK completely off guard. So now that we know why the smoke's thrown, how it deters SK from going for any aggression, they don't really want to throw their Molotovs, we can work out what the rest of the play was, and it's pretty simple, it's just a couple of flashes. So most of it's done by Flash, as we saw he actually went up solo, and this round is going to have a little bit of help from Golem, so JW just threw the smoke then. Molotov coming out from Flasher, the very standard one I talked about just before. Then just a very high flash, this basically just anyone trying to jump through the smoke, it's going to bind them, going to force them back through the smoke. Very standard nade just behind the sandbags, do a little damage. Then we'll see here, as the smoke's about to fade, perfectly in time with it, a flash deep over that would blind anyone trying to hold from sandbags, just for Flash to be very confident while peeking it. Just like that, they have top banana control. Minute 22 left on the clock as the smoke fades. One thing to notice, this does give SK a little bit of extra time, because you have to wait for this smoke to fade, obviously as the T side, you don't know what's lurking behind it. Flasher had to wait maybe a few extra seconds. If they had just gone raw up, great power with only the Molotov down. But SK have a bit of utility, but they also lose a whole lot of map control, which then adds a lot of pressure to players like coldzera and Phelps to hold this top mid. Because if Flasher just stays here and holds this, and these players rotate back around and they take the bracket control away from SK, SK then have no map control and it becomes very difficult for them to read what Fnatic will do moving into the round. So the other thing Fnatic did earlier in the half was they'd retake banana control very aggressively after SK threw all their utility, the deep smoke, etc. So this is the exact same round I showed you earlier where I did use SK taking deep banana control as an example. And remember I said, don't worry about that Molotov top banana, we'll just pretend that isn't there for this example. We're now going to focus on what that Molotov does and how it basically denies SK any aggression back down banana and really just ends up making them waste a whole lot of utility. So Flash is prepared for this, you see he's playing very passive down here, and then as the smoke and Molotov come off, he's going to Molotov off top banana again, sorry. And you'll see right here, what does this do exactly? We see Fer can't move anywhere, Fallen can't move anywhere, this barrel's looking really good. We see with the Molotov down here, they can't peek now. So they've thrown their double nade, remember, double nade here, their Molotovs are all used to Molotov banana, they can't peek. They cannot move down here and take control of this, they can't get an AWPer posted up here if Fallen had one. They can't do anything, but they use this utility. And then as their own Molotovs fade, because Flashes is thrown maybe 3 or 4 seconds later, there's a 3 or 4 second difference between when the Molotovs fade and banana and when Fnatic's Molotov fade. So they use this intermittent time to jump straight through here, and you'll see they time it perfectly. As the smoke's Molotovs are fading, they're right through here, and just like that, Fnatic are back through with banana control, and Fallen and Fer have used all this utility and gained absolutely nothing from it. And you'll see what results is Fur gets desperate. He thinks, I can't use this utility. I've got to try and make something happen here. So they're going to pop flash themselves back in as this Molotov fade. He actually does blind a whole lot of players. Lekr0 isn't blind, and just like that, it's a 5v4. And you can see how desperate it made them. They've used, what's that? That's 6 pieces of utility now, including that last flash, and they've gained nothing from it. In fact, they've lost a player because of that extra aggression. And you can see how just this one Molotov punishes SK for attempting this deep banana control. The last thing to note here is how Fnatic have conditioned SK for the rest of the half doing this. So in the very next round now, round 8, they do attempt to go for the banana control again. You'll see it's basically the exact same round played out again. The 2 Molotovs, the 2 smokes. But look at Fallen and Fur's movement here. So Flasher throws the Molotov right now, and see they're moving back, they throw their nade and their flash. As soon as they see it, they're backing off. They're like, we don't want to repeat of last round. We're just going to give up our utility. Notice they have 1 flash, 1 smoke, so they've wasted a lot of utility. They see this Molotov come through, they're like, we've seen this before, we do not want Fur going down again, we'll keep the 5-man advantage. So then after this, Fur and Fallen decide we do not want to take deep banana control because we're wasting a whole lot of utility. Fnatic have a very simple and easy counter to it, and we don't know how to deal with it. So that's stage 1. Stage 2, I did this in reverse, the earlier bits, because I'm a little bit silly. But stage 2 is then the smoke at the top of the banana area. And why is this? Because Fur and Fallen, their counter to this is, okay, we're not going to take deep banana control. We'll just smoke off this choke point here, so that Fnatic at least have to retake this from us. Well, the counter to that was then smoke off here, so they can't take proper control of this area. And then as we saw, it was very simple. Once Fnatic and Flasher was very easily able to get up here behind what used to be Car, 1 flash would come over, which would pop here, and Flasher could very easily clear out this area with anyone that was sitting there being blind. So you can see, again, as I said with the earlier one, with that smoke, it does make it difficult for the deep banana control. But the way this whole map played out, Fur and Fallen were already not really attempting deep banana control because they'd already been conditioned by this one simple Molotov. And then when they're not even attempting it, they're trying to take just control of here, and this change up comes, a different variation again that SK haven't seen before. It becomes even easier for Flasher to then come up here and take this kind of control. And then really for the rest of the game, obviously it was the 15th round, the last time they used this smoke, SK could never get a hold or a grip on the banana area, and this puts a lot of pressure on the A players because they don't have the option now to throw in a passive setup every now and then, because if they do, they know they can't get in banana control, which means they have no information at banana, and then if they decide they want to do a passive setup over at A, they have no information there either, leaving Fnatic open to execute wherever they want and making rotations very difficult for SK. A couple of announcements into this one. I'm going to start doing private demo reviews, so if either you or your team want someone to look through a demo with you, I'll give you my thoughts from an outside opinion. I'll sit there with you so you can ask me questions as the game plays out, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. All the information's over on my Discord, and that's the best way to contact me as well, as I won't really be accepting any Steam requests or anything like that. As well, I'll probably be streaming some of these, so I've actually just set up my Twitch. It's not complete. The link's in the description. I'll probably also pin it in the comments, so make sure to go follow me there as well if you want to get some extra content of me reviewing other people's demos. I might also play a game here and there, so you want to see how bad I actually am, make sure also to follow me.